The mistake has been to propose it or to say that publicly before consulting the federations and before knowing the opinion. In my opinion, is the only mistake.
They want to bring in Ramón Calderón, who's the former president of Real Madrid and former director of the FIFA World Club Cup Committee. Good afternoon, Ramón.
Hello, good afternoon.
Thank you so much for joining us, Ramón. What do you make of this latest development overnight, Ramón? And do you agree that things are looking shaky for Infantino at the moment?
I have to say that what I've heard, the negative things I've heard about Infantino are unfair. I know him quite well during the time we spent in UEFA and FIFA when he was General Secretary of UEFA with Platini, and he's devoted most of his life to football, and I think he improved it in many senses when he's been at the helm of FIFA. Remember that he came after the Blatter scandal in 2015 when there was a mess with the finances. He managed to clean up everything. He strengthened the compliance procedures. He implemented new rules in order to avoid the new scandal. He expanded the men's and the women's World Cup, giving opportunity to many small countries to qualify, to try to qualify, and some of them to play in the World Cup. So, in my opinion, in this case, the mistake has been to propose it or to say that publicly before consulting the federations and before knowing the opinion. In my opinion, is the only mistake, because the proposal has been withdrawn last night, so he's been sensitive to the opinions of the different people, different confederations.
But Ramón, it was withdrawn after an enormous level of backlash, wasn't it?
Yes, I know that. It's a position that everyone wants, many people would like to be in. So in cases like this, the reaction is too much, in my opinion. As I said, it's a proposal. He didn't sign anything. He just said that it was a good opportunity to increase the finances of FIFA for giving that money to different countries and federations to improve the youth academies and so on. I cannot say anything more because I don't know. I don't think anyone knows in detail, in depth, the agreement. But as I said, I think the problem, the mistake has been not to consult that previously to the federations, to the people concerning in this agreement.
I just want to bring in a question from my colleague Nick Randall, who's a sports editor at the Sunday Times. He's got a question for you, Ramón.
Yes, I was just wondering, you talk about how Infantino came in as a sort of fresh broom and cleared up a lot of the mess that Sepp Blatter had left. But the Infantino we see now, is that a very different person from the one who initially took over? That seems to be the general impression, that to start with he was a kind of breath of fresh air, but has slowly got kind of I don't know, power hungry or money hungry or keen on Trump or whatever, and he's a very different sort of character now to the one who first took charge.
Not as far as I know. I've met him recently. I know how he's living, what is his idea about football, about life. He's not really interested in money more than any other person in his profession. And I think he, as I said, he is doing many things good in football. If you weigh up the decision he's made, I think the result is positive. And it's true that maybe people can change, but it's not, in my opinion, in this case. I know the people, many people close to him that were working, one of them with in Real Madrid with me. And I know he's the same person I met 10 or 15 years ago. But I understand that someone can think different.
So, Ramón, do you think that Infantino is able to continue running FIFA with this level of anger and I think people have definitely felt that he's shown some motivations which people find distasteful within football. With this proposal, he's now withdrawn it, as you say, but it has unleashed a level of anger and resentment towards him. Is he able to continue in his post?
There are 218, I think, or 11 federations that can vote for the re-election. I think it's in the 2027. Next year will be the election. They will leave up to the people who have to vote to decide if he's able to continue. In my opinion, I have to say that I think he's a very valuable man for football, and I don't see any negative thing, except in this case the mistake of not consulting or not saying anything before doing that publicly.
Ramon, you've also been president of Real Madrid, I mean, one of the world's wealthiest clubs. Do you think that money has polluted football in general?
Well, I think money is coming to football in a huge amount of money, because brands and commercials want to be linked to football. Football is passion. Football has a lot of involvement in the society. And of course, money has come to help if used in the right way. The players are the most beneficiary for that, of course. They are the protagonists. They must be the beneficiaries. And people pay for a lot of money for attending matches. TVs, as you know, are paying more and more money every year for broadcasting the matches. And I think money used in the right way is good. It's good for anything, and for football as well.
But there was so much discussion this summer, Ramon, about how inaccessible the World Cup was already because of the ticket prices. I mean, my brother lives in the United States, and some of the tickets for group games were going for $10,000 in Atlanta. Do you think that's okay in a World Cup?
Well, I don't agree with that. Of course, if the prices are so high, you have to reconsider to do that. I suppose that it's a policy, because that was the decision about the price ticket. But I don't know if it's as you say. I accept that it is like that. So in my opinion, I don't agree with that. I think it must be accessible to everyone. Normal prices, 10,000 is not a normal price for a ticket to attend a football match.
Yeah. What would you pay for a season ticket at Real Madrid these days, Ramon?
Well, very, very little. To be member is 250 euros a year, and depending on the season, on the season ticket you have to pay 1,000, 2,000 euros a year to attend all the matches, La Liga and the Champions League. So it's a reasonable price. We try to give the fans, many fans we have all around the world, the opportunity to attend the matches and to come to our stadium. By the way, one of the best stadiums of the world.
Thank you so much for your time this afternoon, Ramon. It's fantastic to speak to you about this. Thank you so much. That is Ramón Calderón, who's former president of Real Madrid, and of course here with me in the studio with Nick Randall, our very own Sunday Times sports editor.